Hey folks, this is Vince with Ad's Gaming Addiction, and once again, we're going to play Le Havre. This is the digital adaptation of the popular board game. So, I'm just going to jump right into it. I've covered this game plenty of times before, but I will explain what I'm doing as I go. For those of you that want to see maybe my thinking process and all that jazz. Okay, so... oh, those seagulls. There's no way to turn them off. I've actually had to lower my desktop audio mixer just because there's only a music and sound toggle. There's no sliders, so, yeah. Anyway, so you're going to hear seagulls throughout this entire video. Hopefully you don't mind. Alright, so, starting off, let's go ahead and purchase a building, and looking at all of these, let's go with... Clay mound costs 3 coin. I've got 3 coin. The cost of the tiles are on the top, like where the siding is on the house here. The grocery store gives me money. That could be useful. Alright, let's go ahead and... yeah, let's go ahead and just add that. And I have to pay 2 wood, so 1, 2. So I'm on the bottom left-hand corner, my opponent is on the bottom right-hand corner. My resources are displayed there, 0, 1, 4, and 3 of the various resource colors. You've got brown being wood, and yellow being wheat, and blue being fish, and red being clay. And I'm going to be spending these resources to purchase these tiles. And these tiles will move up the track. And my opponent will be doing the same thing. Both of our tiles will be moving up this track over the course of the rounds, and whenever you use a tile, whatever number it's on, the higher the number, the better the effect, or the more it affects. So, like, if my grocery store ends up on the 4 space over, like, say, 3 or 4 rounds, then that 1 gold that I'll earn at the bottom of the card will kick in 4 times, or 3 times, whatever number it's on. Plus, I'll get 1 yellow and 1 blue cube movement, and that's my resources down here in the bottom left. As I gain or lose resources, my little symbols will be moving, my cubes will be moving along this track. I'm trying to move them up and to the right, if at all possible. Okay, so back to the game. Again, I've explained the rules in prior videos, so I don't want to keep rehashing the same thing over and over again, but... okay, so it's my turn. I've got, I guess... I can either take the wood company or a clay mound. I think I'll take the clay mound. Now, I can use my opponent's building, but it costs me money to do that. I have to pay him 1 coin. Hi, Wasabi. How are you? Okay, so now that that round ended, the houses that were there originally moved up to the right, so I can start using them. They're on the 2 space. So if I use the clay mound right now, the clay cube will move over 2 to the right, and then I'll get an additional cube movement. Yes, Nev, it's Le Hamburger. It's totally what this game is called. I'm going to go with... I need the wood company, I think. I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. And you get victory points at the end of the game. The little gold on the upper left part of the house, that's the number of victory points that you get for owning that building at the end of the game. So, buildings not only give you resources, but they also provide victory points for endgame scoring. And there's 12 rounds. The opening rounds go real quick because there's only like a couple of turns, but as the rounds continue to go on and on and on, the rounds take longer to do. There's more actions that you can take. Let's go... I wouldn't mind... yeah, let's go ahead and use the clay mound this time. Yeah, there we go. So my clay will move over 3 spaces, then 1 more. I'm on the 3 space, and according to the clay mound, I'll get... if I click on it, it brings it up. So I'm on the 3 space, so that's what this large arrow is all about. It's going to move over 3 because my house here is on the 3 space. That building is on the 3 space. And then it says plus move the red cube over one more. So that's why I moved my red cube over 4 spaces on this track here. Alright, so new turn. He's using the farmland to move a bunch of things over. I'll go ahead and use the grocery store. That gives me 3 coin. It says 1 there, but I'm on the 3 space. That would be 3 coin plus 1 yellow cube and 1 blue cube moved over to the right. Yellow being wheat, blue being fish. Whenever a building gets used, it goes all the way back to the left again. So the longer a building remains unused, the more powerful it becomes until it becomes used. Definitely need some wood, I think. Out of all of these... yeah, let's go and get some wood. I'm going to use my wood company. I own it, so I don't have to pay any money to use it. He's buying up a lot of buildings there. Alright, let's go with the farm. 2 wood, 2 clay. That lets me move my yellow cube up and to the right, and then it has to go back diagonally down. So if I'm on the 3, and I use it, it's going to go to the 6, 10, 14, 3 spaces. Then it's going to go back down to the 10 again. So basically, I mean, it's still 8 wheat. That's not bad. So I think I might actually purchase that. I want to get my resources up and to the right. That's, as you can see, the numbers start getting really high on the top and to the right here. Alright. And, yeah, we'll go ahead and... That's 12 victory points as well at the end of the game. Alright, so I have to spend 2 resources of clay and 2 resources of wood. And there we go. Hi, Speed. How are you? That hardware store is looking kind of nice. That brown arrow / red arrow, that means you have to choose 1 to move over 4 spaces. But I like to stick with my own stuff, so I'm not paying my opponent. Because at the end of the game, any gold you have also counts as victory points. So, let's go with... I've already got a bakehouse that moves... Or I've already got a farm that moves the cube up, into the yellow cube up. So I want to focus on the other colors. Like the kiln, for example, that moves the red up and to the left. And that'll give me... It's pretty cheap. The smokehouse does that for the fish. And I'm going to grab... That's cheaper. I'm going to grab that one. It's also 8 victory points. I've already explained its speed, so rewind the live stream and watch that. Alright, let's take... I kind of want the kiln now, so I can move the red cube up into the left. Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and activate... Yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. 1 brown, 1 red. Another 8 victory points. Alright, well I have very little resources at this point, so I need to start generating them. I'm going to go ahead and use my clay mound to move my red cube 4 spaces to the right. Need to start using my wood company now too. That farm's looking good. Alright, he's using his hardware store. Alright, I will use my wood company to move the wood over. In the very beginning, it's going to be very difficult to move your resources up. But new cards, new buildings will come out over the course of time. Like this game, as the rounds continue to progress, better and better cards come out. Like this building firm is 16 victory points, but it's more expensive. But I can move both brown and red to the right, which is nice. Let's go with, I kind of like that building firm, but I've already got something that moves wood and clay to the right, so I don't want to double up on stuff. I want something that can move brown up, so I'm thinking the sawmill might be a good... Alright, even though it moves it up and to the left, I want it to move up, and then I can move it to the right with the wood company. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. And at 16 victory points, I have to spend 4 clay. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's using my clay mound, so he paid me a gold. But he gets to move the clay. That farm. Oh yeah, that's. I want to use that farm immediately if I can. Nice. Okay, yeah. 4 up and to the right, and then 1 back down to the left. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. Gotta make use of that. There are cards toward the end of... He's using my kiln, so he has to pay me a gold. There are cards toward the end of the game that will give you points for having resources of a particular color, so... I'm trying to stock up on the resources now. You can earn gold in other ways too. There are some cards that give you gold, like this grocery store here. Others you can trade in food for gold. I think, yeah, this weekly market, for example. If I spend blue or yellow food, and then that turns into 4 coin. But I have to move my resource down. So I would need to get my cubes up on this chart here, like somewhere in the middle or up high, then use the weekly market to move it back down but generate gold. But we don't actually have that in play yet, so I can't do that. Fish market does the same thing as the farm, but I have to give money to do it. I don't want to do that. Restaurant turns 1 food into 2 coin. See, I'm not really... I don't want to take that approach if I'm going to try and generate resources for the sake of those cards at the end of the game that give you victory points for having a lot of said resources. So if I have a card, for example, if I get a building in the future that says you get victory points for every food or every yellow that you have, right now I've got 14 yellows, so that's 14 victory points. So I kind of don't want to spend money to make money, or spend food to make money if I'm going to buy that card in the future. There's a lot of thinking ahead to do. I'm going to go ahead and take the grocery store, and that'll give me $3 plus a yellow and a blue moved over to the right. At the end of the game, we sell all of our buildings, and whoever has the most... And there's other things to consider. We sell all of our buildings, we get money from that. We tally up the victory points that we would earn from special cards. And then whoever has the most money wins. Alright, he's taking the marketplace. Moving that red over. That smokehouse will move that blue up and to the left by 3. That might be something to think about. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Looks like he bought the church square. 14 victory points. And again, I can use his buildings, he can use my buildings, but if we use each other's buildings, we have to pay money to the other person to use it. It's victory points I'm trying not to give away. Yeah, at this point, there's nothing I really want from this market, so I'll just do... I need clay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the clay mound to move my clay over 3 spaces. That'll give me some buying power for the next round, next day. Shipping lane generates 3 coin. Okay, it's not bad. Business office is 30 victory points at the end of the game. I can also move a resource down and to the left to generate 5 coin. That's kind of nice. But again, if I'm consuming goods for the sake of earning money, then buying those cards at the end of the game, those anchor cards, not really going to be worth it. Let's just continue generating resources. I'm going to go ahead and move my sawmill, I guess, up and to the left 3 spaces. That would bring it 1, 2, 3 to the 9. So, yeah, I don't want to waste any, but it's right on the edge there. So we'll go ahead and use that. And that's my building. Anything with a 1 on it is mine. Anything with a 2 on it is his. He's using my grocery store. I get a gold, but he gets the effect from it. And I want to move my wood company over to the right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Alright, so both of... Yeah, see, this is his, this is his. I really don't want to use any of those. Clay is the only thing I really need right now. I'm thinking of... I mean, I could use my clay mound again. That's going to be 3 to the right. I can use my kiln, move it up twice into the... up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do... Yeah. Let's go ahead and use the kiln, and then we'll use our clay mound after that. Day 9 of 12. Okay. The guild hall is kind of nice. That moves any resource up and to the right. None of those anchor cards have come out yet, so I'm free to generate more resources maybe. The clay mound, I might want to get this while I can before he takes it. He won't actually. If he takes that, that's stupid on him, because his clay is already to the right as far as it can go, so if he takes that card, he's wasting it. So, maybe I don't need to use that right away. The smokehouse lets me move fish up and to the left. My farm moves up and to the right. If I move my fish up and to the left, that brings it to 18. That would be a decent number of victory points if I can grab the card, the building that gives me that. You know, let's go ahead and do that. We'll play that. Okay. I kind of want to spend wheat here, just so... I mean, the only thing that I have that moves wheat up is up and to the right, and the 19 spot is the only space for that. I kind of want to move it back a little bit, then move it up and to the right. That would make more sense. I don't know if I can swing it, though, with what cards are available here. So this farm, kind of useless right now. Alright, maybe I'll buy something. The pier is 10. That just moves anything I want to the right. The Mason's Guild is kind of nice. Again, that moves things up and to the left. Actually, that might work. I could move my food up into my yellow up into the left. Or I can just take the bakehouse and do that. I mean, this is definitely more expensive. 6-3 compared to 2 clay. You know what? I'm thinking, let's just go with the cheaper one. We'll do the bakehouse here. And we'll, yeah, 1, 2. It's still 10 victory points, so... Alright, he's using my grocery store yet again, so he pays me for that. And... that guild hall looks nice, but no. Alright, let's go ahead and use the clay mound now. That's 4 over. One strategy, you don't want to leave your cubes on the left column, because when you're spending resources, you have the option to go left or down. If you go left, you're only spending 1 at a time. If you go down, you're spending in increments of 3. So if you're on the far left, you have no choice but to spend by going down, and you may overpay that way. So it's a good idea to have these cubes somewhat centralized. That way you've got more movement options whenever you're spending these resources. Okay. Still the farm, not a good idea. Those seagulls. Well, this sawmill can go up and to the left a little bit. I kind of still want to buy buildings for victory points, though, as well. That would give me... That's 20... The Masons Guild is 20 victory points. The business office is 30 for a couple more resources. I could swing it, but then my wood and my clay would be severely depleted. But the effect of it is kind of silly. It's just down and to the left, spend 5. I don't know if I like that. Alright, it's a tough decision. Or I can just continue generating resources, but at some point I want to strengthen my... I've got 87 victory points to his 52, and I do need to save resources for those anchor cards. So I might want to play something that generates resources, and like maybe this kiln, for example. I can move my clay up and to the left by 2. All right, done. Now we're on 14. Okay, so there's the fish factory. I want to grab that. I get victory points equal to the number of fish that I have, and I've got 18 right now, so that's really good. All right. Do I need to grab any of these before I do? All right, I'm gonna grab this 1 wood and 2 clay. Fairly cheap. So I'm gonna just do 1 and then 1. There we go. I want to try and move my clay back to the right, though. Again, I don't like being on that far edge like that. Hello, David. How are you? Alright, this town hall, I don't think it has any ability except it just generates victory points. Yeah, 26 victory points. I want to move that clay over if I can. So the clay mound might be a good idea at this point. And then I could maybe use the kiln. Okay, the wood company moves my wood over to the... Yeah, let's go ahead and use that first, before he does. He's more likely to use my building if it's far over to the right. He's using my farm now. And now if I use my clay mound... Okay, now I've got some more buying power there. And if I do buy something, I can move to the left instead of straight down. Alright, he loves my grocery store. Here, I'm getting stuff delivered. I just get it delivered right to my house, but he has to go to the grocery store. There's no need to spam, hey, I see you. I've said hi already. Alright, well that's an instant ban, so sorry, you're out. People have to be so, like, I don't get it. Okay, so let's do... If I move the sawmill up and to the left, that would bring it 1, 2, 3 to the 20 here. From 4. So that's not bad. That's 6 wood that I would be gaining. I kind of want more buildings, too, at the same time. 5 wood. Okay, let's do a guild hall. That's 16 victory points, and I can move stuff up to the right with that. So 1, 2 clay, and then I'm going to move down 3. Well, down 1, that's 3 value, and then over to the left twice. Using my smokehouse. New day, 11 of 12. The grain silo came out. Okay, so that's going to give us victory points based on how much grain we have. I have 15 right now, so I want to try and increase that as well before the end of the game. The bakehouse could do that for me, actually. But I want to grab this before he does. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. That's 3 wood, so I'm going to bring that down. And then my clay, just move it to the left. There we go. Now, those don't have any use. Like, you can't actually use them for anything. There's no actions list. They just sort of hang out on the board until the end of the game, which is fairly close. Alright, let's go ahead and use our bakehouse to move our wheat up and to the left. There we go. Now we need a lot more wood at this point. I need to move my clay over, and I need to generate more wood. There's the wood company. I can move that to the right. The kiln, not going to help me out at all because it moves up and to the left. Sawmill, I can move that up 4. Up. That's 1, 2, 3, but that's kind of a waste there. Let's try moving the wood over to the right first, and then use that to move it up. So we want something that moves wood to the right. So maybe this wood company here would do the trick. I own it, so I don't have to pay any money for it. Now when I move up into the left, I won't run into the left column. Watch him take it, though. Oh, he's using my grocery store yet again. He loves it. He loves that grocery store. Alright, now I'm going to use that sawmill. Up and to the left, 4 spaces. 16, there we go. So if I can get that wood card, I'll be in good shape. Using my smokehouse, huh? Let's move our clay mound to the right. Yeah, or my clay to the right. I don't want to be boxed in on that left side there, in case something else comes up and I need to spend that resource. Last round. So there's a wood factory and a dock. Oh, and a brick factory. Okay, I want to pick all of those up if I can. So the wood factory gives me victory points based on how much wood I have. The brick factory gives me victory points based on how much brick I have. And the dock gives me victory points for every anchor card that I have. And I've got 2 of them already. I've got the wheat and the fish. There's anchors on both of them. The grain silo and the fish factory both have anchors on them. So I want all 3 of these, preferably. But grabbing this, it's going to be 3 wood. That's going to bring me to 13. It's still 13 victory points. It's not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that. And that'll bring that down like that. It's kind of a waste on his part. I'll take the brick factory. That'll also bring the clay down by 1 space from 15 to 12. That's 3 value there. And now I need that anchor. He's using my guild hall. He's just giving me money at this point. And then I'll take the dock for 7 coin. Actually, is that what I want? Yeah, 10 francs per anchor built. Yeah, I want that. Yep. That'll pay for itself plus some. So I spent 7 money, but I'm getting... I have 4 cards with anchors, so that's 40 money. So 40 minus 7, 33. So I just earned 33 victory points right there. Alright, we're getting very close to the end of the game. So I just need to generate a couple more resources here. I mean, if I can buy something, maybe get more victory points that way. Like this town hall is 26 points. I could spend 8 wood and 8 clay. I can spend 10 coin to earn 22 coin, which is a net of 12 victory points there. 7, 5. I could spend a combination of blue and yellow for the zoo. The only downside, if I spend right now, that lessens the effectiveness of the... Like, if I spend fish right now, then I won't earn as many points for my fish factory. So, like, part of me just wants to earn resources and be done with it. If I move my wood company... It's only 2 extra victory points, though. Alright, well, I'd lose 8. I'd lose 16 victory points playing the town hall, because I have cards that give me victory points for each. So I'd earn 10 victory points for this town hall card, basically. This one I'd earn 5 victory points. That's not worth it. This is 30 minus 12. I'd earn 18 victory points there. That's not bad. That might be worth it. Alright, I can live with that difference, so let's go ahead and do the business office. Actually, can I do it with where my wood is? That would be 10, 7, and... Okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay. So, let's go ahead and purchase the business office. And for wood, that goes 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then clay, we're going to go down. And then to the left, too. Can I lose victory points? Because, you know, I've got some cards that give me victory points for having that resource. But the victory points on the card kind of makes up for that. Of the building that I just purchased. Oh, I think this is the end of the game. I think now we're tallying up our points. So now at this point, we're just selling all of the buildings that we own to see how much money we get. Now, there's a sneak preview of that in the upper left-hand corner. I've got 225 points to 64. He doesn't have any anchor cards. He doesn't have any, like, endgame special things going on there. So, yeah. I think it's safe to say that I demolished him. If we compare the two here. My buildings alone were 122, his were 64. So if I had not gotten any coins at the end of the game, or anchor cards, or special other cards for resources, yeah. Even then, I would have beaten him. I would have doubled his score, basically. Still fun. This game is so much fun, though. I highly recommend Le Havre. It's such a fun engine-building game. I like the digital version. compared to this. Exit. Thank you. Do you not know how to exit? This game's like, it's stuck, apparently. Exit game. Okay, then. I'm just gonna go back to the main menu the old way, then. We'll just do, there. Come on. Well, it's a good digital game nonetheless. The UI is giving me trouble right now. Surprise, surprise. But I do prefer this. Oh, okay, the computer is just... Okay. I'm going to hard quit out of this. Oh, finally. I'm going to hard quit out of this. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. Buy this game on Steam. It's like $6 or $7, and I think the digital phone app is for $5. So either way you go with it, expect a couple of UI issues, but other than that, like, it's a fantastic, fantastic engine-building game. I prefer this over the board game. I do have the board game, but everything is laid out differently. Instead of columns, it's a stupid wheel, and you're moving buildings around this wheel. It's just, I don't like it. This is laid out much more cleanly and efficiently. So if you're interested in digital board games at all, play this. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.